Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Now we are honored and privileged to present our performing artist, whose artistic name is Maria José Montijo, and whose nickname is Majo. Besides being an artist, Majo is a California licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, biodynamic craniosacral therapist, and sound healer. Majo has been singing professionally since age 5, and with 20 years of experience in traditional medicine, Majo blends bomba, folk harp, and electronics with lyrics that are feminist, alchemical, and affirmant of deep ecology. I present to you Majo, a Boricua bruja who casts spells with a luminous voice and powerful lyrics, whose songs invoke full spectrum healing and celebrate the magic of the ordinary.
Hola, buenas tardes. Qué bueno estar con ustedes hoy. Voy a empezar con un poco de bomba. ¿Se escucha bien? ¿Ya? Good. Un día ya no te vi, un búho en el cielo voló. Fiesta para los ancestros, para vive en mi corazón. Soy amor puro del tuyo, échame la bendición. Quiero reírme contigo, en el pecho un dolor. Te veo en las estrellas, estás a mi alrededor. Tu cuerpo se quedó vacío, estás libre de caparazón. Todo lo bueno que dabas es lo bueno que soy. Todo lo que me enseñaste, lecciones de liberación. La raíz tiene una fuerza, eres mi ancestra de fiesta. Te tengo prendí una vela, tu mamá y tu papá te esperan. Tu mamá te abre los brazos y te da un gran abrazo. Ahora eres una con todo, ahora eres amor del cosmos. Gracias por tu gran amor, gracias por tu bendición, gracias por verme de veras, gracias por darme tu fuerza. Eres el sol que alimenta, luz, arco iris, marea. Basta tu naturaleza, respiro hondo tu belleza. Te lloro, abuela, te extraño, abuela, te siento, abuela, adentro, abuela, te extraño, abuela, te siento, abuela, te extraño, abuela, adentro, abuela, 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 abuela. So it's very strange to perform bomba by myself. Bomba is community music. It's a collective music. It's a circular music. So I'm missing my Taller Bombalele family right now, but also I'm very used to performing as a solo artist, performing with myself, performing with others. So there's a interesting tension there. So I don't know if you have seen the video for Huraca or heard the song, but I'm gonna perform it now. So if you wanna participate in that circular space that is the batey, which we can create virtually, as we can feel each other throughout space and time in this technological devices. So you can sing the coro with me. Please don't unmute yourself because then, but you sing in the room and hopefully I'll feel your voice. So I'll start with the coro goes like this. Huracán. So that's the part that you can do. Pueden cantar conmigo si quieren. Huracán. 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 Huracán sopla la junta pa'l carajo. Llévatelo que no sirve. Viento de cambio que asoma. Va a sacudir la colonia. Coño despierta boricua. No les importa tu vida. Amate a ti y a tu tierra. Vive la soberanía. La libertad se cultiva. Tus sueños son la semilla. Para levantar nuestra fuerza. Fuerza grande, colectiva. Pa'l carajo la junta. Pa'l carajo la colonia. Pa'l carajo la deuda. Esta deuda es ilegal y no la vamos a pagar. 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 No la vamos a pagar. Y no la vamos a pagar. Y no la vamos a pagar. Este gobierno no sirve. No queremos dictadura. Que se quieren quedar con todo. Y no nos vamos a dejar. Y no nos vamos a dejar. Nosotros vamos a luchar. Nosotros vamos a luchar. Nosotros vamos a luchar. Estado de emergencia. Violencia horizontal. Estado de emergencia. Ni una mujer más. Estado de emergencia. Violencia horizontal. Estado de emergencia. Ni una mujer más. Estado de emergencia. Violencia horizontal. Estado de emergencia. Ni una mujer más. Pa'l carajo la junta. Pa'l carajo la colonia. Pa'l carajo la deuda. Esa deuda es ilegal. No la vamos a pagar. Y 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 no la vamos a pagar. Pa'l carajo la junta. Pa'l carajo la colonia. Okay. So I want to do a screen share. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm not allowed to screen. I'm not sure how to do it.
If you see at the bottom, you will see a green arrow that says share screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'll share the audio and okay, here we are. So I'm sorry, here it is. Okay. Whew, that was hard. So I'm old. I may look young, but I'm 41. So for me, healing is decolonization. And what does that mean? Well, it means, first of all, I've been in a healing journey my whole life. And I came into that healing journey because I needed to learn how to survive and how to be a human being and how to heal from trauma. And I did it through practices, ancient practices, but not ancient practices from my land. So I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I started my healing journey through Tai Chi and Qigong, which are ancient practices of healing technologies from China. And that's how today I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner. But in the context of healing for me, being born in a colony of the United States, which Puerto Rico is a colony of the United States, and before it was a colony of Spain, the work that we do for healing ourselves is decolonization, because we live in a system of oppression that is insidious and invisible, and very heavy, right? And 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 working through a system of oppression that teaches you that you're not worthy, that your voice doesn't matter, that is healing, and that is decolonization. For me. But decolonization is a practice that we need to do collectively, because we are strong in community, and Bomba is about that. So my healing journey was completely in isolation. I mean, it wasn't completely in isolation, but it was very individualistic. And when I started learning Bomba, which is an ancient technique of healing that's from the island I was born in, something really deep happened, because as a lighter skinned Puerto Rican, I got to feel my colonizer ancestors. I got to feel the Portuguese, Spanish victimizers, and I got to feel the strength of also the African ancestors of Congo, New Guinea, that are in me too, and the indigenous ancestors that are indigenous to the land of Puerto Rico, the Taino, the Arawak people. So that there's a lot to unpack there, and that's the journey, and we unpack it together every time we get together in the Batey to do Bomba. And that is why I'm choosing to do this presentation, focusing on that Bomba is a genre that comes from fugitivity, del cimarronaje. Y en honor a mis maestras that are trailblazers. So why do we get together, and why do I make music? I make music to nourish, release, and recalibrate. But I make music specifically for freedom fighters in Puerto Rico, and for healing justice activists, and for BIPOC, BICO, Black Indigenous People of Color. That is the people that I write for. And what happened with Huracan is that Huracan was born out of the community. It was born out of Taller Bombalele. I'm part of Taller Bombalele. I think a lot of you already know Julia and Denise. They're my teachers. And I wrote Huracan because my mom was fired from the university, and the university, the plans of the government was to privatize the university, which is extremely excellent and affordable university where everybody can go study. And I felt so much rage because also my mom doesn't have access to basic services either. So all that, but this was very specific because there's so many layers of oppression. But this song came out of the anger of my mom being fired from her job. And the systematic dismantling of institutions in Puerto Rico, so that Puerto Rico is emptied of Puerto Ricans, and it can become this Singapore in the Caribbean for business people, cryptocurrency bros to come recolonize it again. It's like colonization on top of colonization on top of colonization. And this is very painful. And it's hard to be with that pain. And I think part of the work of decolonizing, and why decolonizing is healing, because we make space for it and we metabolize it through music. So Huracan does that, and it does that for a lot of people. So I feel like it is not my song. Like, I channeled it, but this song is a song for everybody that feels identified with it, no matter their circumstances. Like, I hear back a lot from a lot of young Puerto Ricans living in the island, or Puerto Ricans in the diaspora, but it's a song for everybody that's experienced oppression, really. It's just this particular map that it speaks to, you know. So I wanted to highlight that bomba is right now very popular in Puerto Rico and very accessible for people like me, because families like Julia held it down when it was illegal, when it was criminalized, when it was in the margins. And I think part of decolonization and part of the healing aspect of decolonization is that we tell the stories, we begin to tell the stories of the people in the margins, of the people that are invisibilized, of the people that are excluded. Which is a very general statement, because honestly, if you, and not really apply to, well, it's kind of complicated, but Julia's family is a dynasty, like literally a dynasty, and everywhere they go in Puerto Rico, people are like, "Ooh, make way, los Cepeda llegaron," and they're bomba royalty. So they are forever in history. But there's so many stories, so many people. There's bomba from lots of different regions of Puerto Rico. But I digress. So I wanted to share some videos, and I hope you can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound? This is Julia dancing. So I wanted to share that video because I started practicing bomba because I saw Julia dancing. I saw Julia dancing in a performance where I played with my band before them when they were part of Las Bomberas de la Bahía. And I had seen Las Bomberas de la Bahía, but when I saw Julia, I felt something very spiritual about the way she engaged. The energy was very, very potent, very, very strong. And that's what led me to study with them in Taller Bombalele. And I also wanted to share this video of baby Julia with her grandpa, el patriarca de la bomba, Rafael Cepeda. And she looks very, very cute. So right next to her grandpa is her father, Jesús Cepeda, el tambor maya. That's Julia. And then what does bomba and what does my music as a singer-songwriter have in common? And what is the spirit of the song Huracán? That these systems of oppression need to come down. And they need to come down, and we need to learn how to dream and vision. And honestly speaking, that is something very hard for me. That's something that I practice. I practice dreaming. I practice visioning. Because I grew up feeling very helpless and feeling very powerless. And it's been a lot of healing work to get to this point. And it's been because of these ancient practices. And like how I did meditation, how I did Tai Chi, how I did Qigong, how I do yoga, how I do other embodied practices, bomba is part of that. How I make music, right? So I started making music to heal myself in my healing journey. So I wrote songs for me, and they were very personal, they were very cosmic, they were very about connecting with something bigger than myself that would hold me and make me feel whole, or make me recognize the wholeness that is already in me. And I was extremely painfully shy. I still am. I'm a very shy person. But peeling the layers and learning what's important and letting spirit speak through you, then it's kind of like, then you negotiate. I negotiate the shyness, right? I was so freaked out about keynote speak. Like, honestly, nobody cared what I thought till like a year ago, So now I'm doing these kinds of things, and it's like, it's very intimidating, and at the same time, it's very healing, right? Because the more we share of ourselves, the more I share of myself and my own struggles and my own particularities, and then we know we share a common humanity. And there's very little, how do you say, there's tons of diversity, but in terms of our human makeup, we're very similar. I don't wanna I don't want to trivialize diversity and intersectionality. I think that's very problematic, but I think, you know, there are layers. So in the end, with all our differences, we're all in this planet living together, being part of a huge ecosystem. So how do we work towards our eco-social liberation together? And so I'm gonna show this video. So I've been part of an organization in Puerto Rico called SEPA, and right now I'm part of a 6-month decolonization study group where we study rematriation, land back, and how do we learn to decolonize collectively, and how do we heal collectively, right? And I just wanted to share this video of some of the organizers that got together for a retreat 2 years ago, and they shared it with me. So this is the people. These are like the healing justice activists that Huracán is made for, right? So these are, they are in the mountain, really high up in Puerto Rico, and people from the diaspora and people from the island and people that have rematriated were together in this retreat. Co-conspiring liberatory liberatory maps and practices. So I also wanted to share an excerpt of this short documentary of El Huerto Callejón Trujillo. Is an urban garden in Ponce, San Juan. Ponce, Puerto Rico. I'm sorry, I guess I'm a little nervous. I mixed up my geography, but I'm not really that great with geography, so it makes sense. Anyway, so basically this garden started after Hurricane Maria, and they rehabilitated an abandoned lot that was just a illegal dumping area. And Gira Rodriguez is gonna talk a little bit about their mission. So they used Huracán as the credits of the documentary. I can later share the link if anybody wants to see it in the full length. I can share it with you.
Colonizada desde los 1400, y esto se ha significado en la mentalidad colectiva que no tenemos sentido de pertenencia de nuestras tierras, de nuestra cultura, de nada, absolutamente nada. Hemos desarrollado lo que es una mente colonizada, y la mente colonizada es esta idea de que no somos lo suficiente, de que lo de afuera es mejor, siempre como que dependiendo de otras personas, otras cosas, otros gobiernos o otras entidades para decirnos qué hacer y cómo hacerlo. Esto ha tenido una serie de efectos gigantes en la infraestructura de nuestro país, en la educación del país, en la alimentación del país, en la psicología y emocional, espiritual del país. Luego del huracán María, cuando nadie tomó acción por la crisis humanitaria que estaba pasando en el país, fueron las comunidades y la misma gente quien empezó a asistir a otras personas y empezó a ayudarse a ella misma. Se hacían sancochos gigantes para que todo el mundo pudiera comer y comenzamos a renacer nuevamente con un fuego por dentro que nos decía a nosotros mismos, sí, se puede, sí podemos. Y empezar ahí a crear un cierto puente desconectándonos levemente de la mentalidad colonizada. El huerto nace a partir de este huracán.
Solamente
Okay. So I think an important context is that in Puerto Rico, the 80% of the food is imported. So right now, a radical revolutionary act is to have your own garden and to grow your own food, which is very different than the experiences in California. But in Puerto Rico, food sovereignty is is the key to our survival, to the survival of Puerto Ricans. So now I want to share this video that in terms of how the queer community have felt also very connected to Huracán, because Huracán, as Taller Bombalele, also has this role in the queering of Bomba, right? It shows the queering of Bomba through Leo Villahermosa, which I don't know if you saw the video, but is the amazing artist, amazing polyphacetic artist that is dancing with a skirt. So Leo Villahermosa is a pioneer, and he put that skirt on in a batey in Puerto Rico, where that was completely not accepted, because the society in Puerto Rico is very conservadora, and very, very patriarchal. Even Bomba. So this is Amber. So I don't know her personally, but she shared this video on Instagram, and then I'm gonna share what she wrote about the video. So, in her words, cansada de tener que explicar mi existencia, cansada de tener que debatir mis derechos, cansada de hablar sobre mis partes privadas y mis decisiones personales, cansada de tenerle miedo a caminar sola, cansada de tener miedo por la ropa que me pongo, cansada de la falta de respeto a mi identidad cuando no te caigo bien, sobre todo cansada de pedir perdón cuando me enfado porque me insultan. Si por estas razones te parezco demasiado dramática, sensitiva, radical e intolerable, esto me dice más de tu carácter que del mío. La mujer se defiende transgénero. La mujer se defiende negra. La mujer se defiende sobrepeso. La mujer se defiende prostituta. La mujer se defiende indígena. La mujer se defiende homosexual. La mujer se defiende asiática. La mujer se defiende bisexual. Cuando dices luchar por las mujeres, solo dices la verdad si estás luchando por todas nosotras. So yeah, that brought tears to my eyes because right now in Puerto Rico, there's a flare-up of gender violence, of femicides, very, very horrible femicides happening last week. And that makes me want to tell a story of Huracán. I actually wrote the lyrics of Huracán with Denise and Ilia Correa, figured out the rhythm is Kalinda, and then I kept editing the lyrics, right? And that part of state of emergency, de estado de emergencia, esa no estaba en la primera versión de la canción. Nosotres hacemos un bombazo. So Taller Bombalele does a bomba party space regularly before the pandemic, and I think it was 2018, and the Colectiva Feminista en Construcción was outside of the governor's mansion in Puerto Rico, demanding that a state of emergency is declared for gender violence, and they were being pepper sprayed. They were being ignored while the governor opened up his mansion at 3 a.m. for Bad Bunny and Residente. So we can see how insidious sexism, misogyny, and patriarchy is in the culture. And I just want to highlight the work of la Colectiva Feminista en Construcción, because right now they have managed to help mobilize a lot of women that are not used to protesting, but that are out on the streets right now in their, I'm sorry, en sus municipios. Something that is never been seen before is that collective manifestations happening outside of the capital is something that's never happened before, and it's a beautiful thing. And they were the inspiration for those lyrics of Estado de Emergencia. So I've been feeling a lot of the collective grief, because when this happens in Puerto Rico, being from the diaspora is like the geography and the culture is pulling on us all the time, and we all feel it. So I'm not by myself. Julia has been very affected, other friends have been very affected, and we're all wanting to know how can we change this, and also metabolize all the grief that's in the air and all the rage. And Huracan is that, is a cry of rage over you know being colonized, being oppressed, and also learning how to love yourself, learning how to tend to the land, learning, like, moving from survival to thriving, to planning our collective liberation, right? So I just wanted to end by saying that I'm gonna release a full length album pretty soon, and I'm gonna release some singles before that, so please stay tuned. And I don't know if there's any questions for me. I think now would be a good time. And if not, I can play a song, so just let me know what you want to do. Also, I don't know how to do this thing with the. I'm sorry, I don't know how to have my face only on the screen.
Stop share.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so
So
much.
I guess I'll just, if anybody has a question.
Oh no, thank you. I was gonna thank you for sharing with us about your story, and if possible, we would like a tiny piece of the song that you
Great.
were.
Lisa, we should check if anybody does have questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody have questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, I know you're getting ready to perform. Thank you so much
No,
for everything
please.
that you've shared. I wanted to ask you about your opinions of, I feel like I might know the answer, but I wanted to ask you about your opinions on tourism from people like us in Puerto Rico, and how we can discourage others from going right now, at least out of respect for them and for being local residents.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's not the best time to travel, but I'm going to Puerto Rico in 2 weeks. I'm gonna see my family, but cases were rising, and now they're getting a little bit more contained. Um, but it's a problem from the population and from the tourists, right? So the problem with tourism, I think, is more why are tickets so cheap during a pandemic to go to Puerto Rico. For me, that's the problem. Like, why can't we ban and close the airports? Because the first cases were tourists, and then the tourists never stopped coming. So we don't have the agency as a colony to close the airport, and that's the problem. That's the bigger problem. Tourism is part of the economy, so it's a complicated question. But I mean, I feel people in general should have the utmost care with what they do and be responsible with their decisions. And I feel there's a lot of tourists that are being irresponsible right now in the island, and some tourists that are not. But I think the most problematic thing is the infiltration of neo-settler colonialists that are business people that want to move there for tax breaks. Like, that's the biggest problem. And colonialism. Any other questions?
I'll let you perform because I know we don't have much time and everybody's eager to see you. I'll ask you a question later.
Wait, but I feel like my time is up. Can I have like 5 extra minutes, or how many minutes? Or 3 or 2?
8.
Whoa! Exciting. Very exciting. by heart better. This like this? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I should just close that. Tan frágil el reflejo en el cristal, efímero como la luz, baila en el mar. La marea canta siempre su canción, alucinante cuando se pone el sol. Esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica. Las olas vienen y se van, besos mojados para la arena enamorada. Soy sirena, soy el sol y soy el mar. Y mi alimento es sonidos en cantar. Esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica, esotérica trópica. El agua refresca mi alma, el agua refresca mi alma, el agua refresca mi alma. Es la fuerza natural que te invita a luchar por nuestro país, por nuestra tierra, por nuestro futuro, por lo que vendrá. Y es que el Caribe te da mucha magia, mucha fuerza, mucha magia, mucha fuerza, mucha magia, mucha magia, mucha magia, mucha magia. Mucha magia, mucha fuerza. Yo estoy puesta para la lucha, yo soy la naturaleza. Soy caribeña, latinoamericana, y a mí me habla el corazón del agua y el maya. Yo te escucho y el maya, hasta ve, yo te escucho, madre tierra. Tu latir es mi palpitar, defendete mi promesa, esta tierra se respeta. Corazón de la tierra, corazón del agua. El agua fluye como la sangre en las venas, nube cargada de llanto, aguacero, el cuerpo un río, un océano. Nuestra vida es la tierra, nuestra vida es el agua, vamos a defenderla. So thank you so much. Now I don't see anybody, so what was I gonna say? I guess my time is up. I'm gonna share my information in the chat and the link of the documentary if anybody is interested. And thank you so much.
That was
I should.
amazing. Gracias.
No veo a nadie que hago. Dejo de share the screen. Sí. Stop sharing. I don't. I don't know how to stop sharing.
At the top of the screen, you will see something that says stop sharing.
The green thing?
But I
Ah,
think
there?
yes, right there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your music. It's really healing and refreshing. So it's an honor to have you, and thank you so much for sharing about your music and the stories that have like served as a way to heal and also as a way of resistance. So thank you.
Thank you for being the hope. So just share stuff, keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much.